Ready.
Hello, my name is Christina.
My name is Brian Pineda.
I'm Michael Joseph.
My name is Matthew Hauerwas.
And I'm Curtis Opokumama.
And the global goal that we decided was life below water. In our independent research project is titled Coral Reef Crisis. Coral reefs play a vital role in our ecosystem. Not only does it provide many homes for aquatic animals, but it also protects coastlines from erosion, storms, provide jobs, and recreation opportunities. Most recently, it has been used for medication. This can affect the presence of coral reefs in our ecosystem. With the loss of coral reefs, many species in the sea would lose their life, there would be loss of food, and our ecosystem would also be affected.
So the hypothesis for our project was that human influence through means such as ocean pollution and tourism has led to a decrease in the size of coral reefs, and the amount of live coral has been reduced drastically over the past few decades due to indirect and direct human activity in the ocean. And in this figure we have here below the hypothesis, it shows an accumulation of plastic waste on a live coral reef, and that just shows how waste like that can suffocate coral and kill it.
Now I'll talk about methodology. I'll talk about the methods to gather information about coral change. So to gather data and information about the coral growth band, scientists jump themselves in a scuba gear and dive down among the reefs. Once in position, they use a special drill to gather small core samples from the corals without injuring the animal. Sometimes the banding patterns in these samples are evident by visual inspection alone, but often scientists use X-ray imaging software to get a look at the patterns. The scientists then mark the different layers by year and season and extract samples from the layers for precise chemical analysis. By using these corals to determine the past climate in the tropical oceans, scientists can also predict future trends in the climate change. I'm also going to mention some possible methods to help corals improve by recycling and disposing the trash properly, by minimizing the use of fertilizers, and by using environmentally friendly modes of transportation.
To discuss some results, in an experiment conducted by the National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium in Taiwan, temperatures were analyzed along with salinity, pH, DO, BOD, suspended solid levels, turbidity, chlorophyll A, nutrient, and ammonia concentrations along the coast of the Nanwan Bay from 2001 to 2008. They found that high standard errors indicative of unstable water quality were documented at stations near creeks and rivers. These researchers also found that high levels of nutrients, BOD5, suspended solids, and turbidity were present in water that was collected in heavily visited coastlines.
So the graph on the left shows the percentage of area of Caribbean coral reefs that is covered by live coral that has fallen from 1977 to 2002. On figure 2 on the right, we can see the health of Carysford Reef of the coast of Florida has declined dramatically in the past 25 years. The photographs above show how the picture on the right, the corals were healthy in 1975, and how by 1985 they were visibly sick, and how by 1995 they were dead and broken. Also, to add on to this data, our research shows that since 1970s, reef across the world have been dying at an unprecedented rate, and it only seems to be getting worse. Research shows how the Florida Keys undergo extensive reef monitoring studies conducted by the Environmental Protection Agencies and other agencies have shown that the reefs lost more than 38% of their living coral cover from 1996 to 1999. More research shows how the Carysford Reef has also affected as it lost over 90% of its coral cover from 1974 to 1999. Another report published by the World Resources Institute states that 58% of all the reefs and are at serious risk from human development. All of these reports point to human activity as a primary reason from the decline of the reefs. With 500 million people now living within the 50 miles of reef habitat and more on their way, it's likely only to get worse. Unfortunately, the damage that human caused to reefs seems to be long-lasting and maybe permanent.
In conclusion, coral reefs provide ecosystem services to millions of people. However, coral reef systems themselves are under severe threat due to human activities, pollution, destructive fishing practices, collecting live corals for aquarium markets, mining coral for building materials, and a warming climate are all common methods by which people damage coral reefs regularly. Results show that the increasing number of tourists, suspended solids, nutrients, and ammonia are all contributing factors leading to the decline in coral cover, and that fish species richness decreases slowly and linearly with increasing human density.
So for our further work section, our findings on existing research raise questions about whether there was an effort to restore coral reefs and protect them from further damage. And several organizations such as the Environmental Protection Agency, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and the International Coral Reef Initiative have started programs that focus on developing strategies for how to address the threats that coral reef systems face. And alongside these initiatives, there's been significant research into interventions for coral reef decline. And these management strategies usually fall into four categories: mitigation, protection, repair, and adaptation for coral reefs. Engineering projects usually emphasize the repair approach by rebuilding the damaged structures and communities that have been harmed by physical disturbances, but this method is limited by small-scale application, technical difficulties, and a subsequent reduction in species diversity. Transplant operations also focus on adapting coral reefs by introducing fast-growing and heat-resistant corals into the damaged communities. In addition, coral gardening is also now a widely used, successful, low-cost approach that involves outplanting nursery-grown corals into the damaged communities, and this has achieved successful growth and high rates of survival. However, these promising results are inconsequential without an effort for long-term mitigation of the climate and environmental changes, such as rising ocean temperatures and lowering pH in oceans, that would protect coral reefs from further destruction. The Reef Resilience Network reports that approximately 75% of coral reefs worldwide are currently under threat, and this highlights a need to further refine and monitor the restoration projects that are underway. And if we were to continue our work, a subsequent study that we could possibly look into would be determining how efficient these approaches are in protecting and conserving coral reef ecosystems against things such as degradation, pathogens, and bleaching.